I know I can use sealing wax to create a wax image on the back of a letter. But what are the advantages of using sealing wax, and why should I as a fountain pen user consider using sealing wax? Well, you know, see, first off, it's cool. So like that right there is enough reason to use it. I'm just kidding. I mean, it is pretty cool, but cool in like a nerdy kind of way, I guess. And I can say that comfortably because I love sealing wax and I like to use it whenever I can. So, you know, I feel like I can say that about myself. But anyway, so originally the purpose of sealing wax was actually as a security measure. You think like back in the day when you had like handwritten letters that were delivered by, you know, people on horses and stuff like that. It was a security measure. So basically you would, to make sure that you had a letter that wasn't forged, you'd have your own seal that would be like your family crest or something like that, or you'd have like a ring. I know you see that a lot in the movies where you have like the king has a ring and like stamps the wax and all that. Well, that was fairly legit. So they had a brittle wax that they would use to seal the letter. So you'd actually, it wouldn't just be superficial. You'd pour the wax, like you'd fold the letter over and you pour the wax so that it would actually adhere, the letter closed. And then you'd put your signature ring or whatever, or, you know, seal into the wax so that whoever was receiving your letter knew that it came from you and that it hadn't been read or tampered with or forged because it hadn't been broken open. So that was the original point. These days, it's really more just about the aesthetics. And actually, because of the modern mailing system and all the automation that letters go through and stuff, if you put brittle wax on your letter and send it through the mail system, it won't even make it. You know, it's going to fall apart, it's going to break apart and be completely unrecognizable by the time it gets to your intended recipient. In fact, one time I received a letter from a customer who had sealed with a brittle wax and then put it inside another envelope so it would, you know, I guess protect it better or something like that. And when I received it, literally the entire seal was gone and all that was left was a fine powder of brittle wax. So I literally didn't even get to see what the seal was because it was just a disgusting powdery mess inside that letter. So do not send a brittle wax seal through the modern mail system. You don't want to do that. They make supple wax, which is what we carry at Goulet pens, is the J. Bond supple wax. That stuff holds up really well. It's flexible. So if you put it on a letter, it will bend and flex and not break. You want to be careful about how much you use. I mean, generally it's hard to use too much, really, but if you're using a lot of it, it can actually change the weight of the letter. If you're using a thick letter and then you put a wax seal on it, it can bump it up to weight, so you just have to be careful about how much postage you're putting on there. But that's basically it. So these days it's pretty much just for the aesthetics.